Hello and welcome to the Keep Your Cool Mama podcast, where we are encouraging the everyday mom to pursue her dreams and discover her own greatness. Hey, cool mamas. This is Sheilah, and you are listening to episode 19 of the Keep Your Cool Mama podcast. Hey, ladies. How are you? How are you feeling today? How are you really feeling today? If you listened to my last episode, you know why I'm asking you that. So head on back over to that episode if you have not and understand why I'm asking you. How are you really feeling today? Well, I hope you are doing good. I hope you're feeling good. Definitely happy to be back with you for another episode. Guess what? This is the last episode in our teens. Episode 19. We'll be on a journey to starting our 20s starting next week. I'm excited. Excited for growth, most definitely. But yes, this is episode 19. And today I want to chat with you about learning to love yourself where you are. Now, this is something I have not mastered, but I am definitely committed to practicing it every day. So I want you to consider this episode less of a how-to and more of me sharing a moment with you. I want to share with you how I have struggled to continue loving myself when I'm not exactly where I want to be in my life, and how I am practicing to eliminate the self-sabotage that is associated with not celebrating myself for simply just being Sheilah without any strings attached. So my hope is that if you do struggle with the same thing, loving yourself through all of the phases of life, that this episode will encourage and inspire you in your own journey to discovering your own greatness outside of motherhood. And I believe that when we master this aspect, we are able to keep going and move towards the dreams that we have for ourselves. So let's go ahead and get started. And I want to start with 5 things that I've learned and how I'm implementing this kind of special love in my life. So I've learned many things, but like I always tell you, for the sake of time, I'm going to do the 5. So number 1, I've learned that success can be a moving target. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a goal to achieve something and told yourself, once I get to that goal weight, get that degree, or any other goal, that I will be satisfied? That's going to be it for me. Or that'll just mean the world to me. Only to find out that once you achieved that one goal, you weren't satisfied and you created a new goal and new intentions, and the cycle continued. Well, I've been there several times myself. I think the first one that I had was when I was going to college, and I was in college when my babies were tiny. And I gave myself a goal to finish my degree by the time my oldest son was 5 years old. I finished that. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, but I still wasn't satisfied, and I moved on to the next goal. Now, being aware of this pattern it has caused me to be mindful about how kind and compassionate I am being to myself in the midst of achieving and after I achieve. Knowing that regardless of the outcome, I am still a great person. I am still a child of God. I am still valuable. I am still worthy. So, in other words, I'm not going into goals with the mindset, once I finish this, everything will be better. Everything will be okay. And of course, things do get better when you achieve certain goals. Yes, I do agree with that. However, I think it's important to love ourselves through the whole process and not thinking that this one goal is what's going to make me love myself the most, because it's not. We have to love ourselves deeper than that. Okay, so number 2, I challenge my current definition of what personal success is to me. Now, the example that I gave you about success being a moving target sometimes is the reason why I have chosen to start creating my own definition of what success is. A lot of times, our definition of success is developed from what others have ingrained in our minds about what success is to them. Creating my own definition of success leaves room for me to alter and change what success means to me over time based on my own growth and evolution. So, success doesn't necessarily have to be the big thing. It could be from the big things to the small things, or it could be success could be that you have a peaceful household. That's success to you. Success could be that you have an amazing relationship with your children where they can share their emotions and their feelings with you freely without feeling like they're going to be judged. That could be success to you. It doesn't always have to be monetary. It doesn't always have to be the big job or whatever the case. You can set the expectation. You can set what the definition is for success to you. Okay? All right. Number 3, making progress the focus. So I have perfectionist tendencies. So feeling the need to have things perfect without mistakes, being hard on myself when it's anything less than perfect. Now, I no longer call myself a perfectionist and limit it to saying I have perfectionist tendencies, because I'm learning how to not let the thought of mistakes drive me crazy and keep me stuck. So learning to keep it moving despite some tendencies that have stuck around as I grow. The growth continues, as always. But my perfectionist tendencies can keep me from focusing on my progress and being proud of myself as I go. As I progress in my growth, new skills and talents are being developed. And when I'm not loving myself where I am, I can't be fully aware of my growth and where it is taking me. So it's very important for me to pay attention to the progress that I am making, because I think what happens is we have this big vision of what we want, and when it doesn't seem like we're close to that vision, we're not enjoying the process, which means that we're not paying attention to our progress, because it takes progression to move towards those goals that you have for yourself. But pay attention to your progress and make that your focus, so that you aren't continuously beating yourself up for not being exactly where you want to be at that moment. And just be patient. Be patient with yourself 100% as much as you can all the time. 100% as much as you can all the time. That's funny. Just do the best as you can. Okay. All right. And number 4, I'm learning to celebrate all of my accomplishments, big and small, even when it's not recognized by others. Now, sometimes relying on the applause and acceptance of others can keep us from celebrating ourselves without the applause, because sometimes you won't get the applause, right? And for me personally, I can get caught up in thinking that I needed to have accomplished something big enough for an applause to be proud of myself. These days, I'm I'm being intentional about focusing on simply being proud of myself for getting through another day. Things like getting through another day of virtual learning with my 6-year old, because that is something to be proud of. If you are a mom who is working with your children during this COVID-19 season, quarantine season, and you're doing homeschool and you get through a day, if you get through a day of virtual schooling, that is something to be proud of. Or what if I got 4 out of 6 things done on my to-do list? I'm proud of that too. Focusing on the small and the big things. But also keeping in mind that if I had a bad day where nothing seemed to go right, like at all, I am just proud of myself for making it through the day with an ounce of peace, with being able to lay down at night and reset and be ready for the next day. So celebrate all of your accomplishments, big and small. I'm learning that, even with this podcast, in the beginning, I said, hey, we're moving out of our teens and we're going into our 20s. I think that that's something to be proud of. Yes, I've taken breaks. Yes, I could have been further along than I am right now, but I choose to celebrate all of the progress that I have made. So that's what I mean when I say celebrating your accomplishments, big and small. Number 5, have a clear understanding of who I am and what makes me special. That's definitely something that I'm learning. I'm learning what sets me apart, what makes me me, what makes me Sheilah, even when my goals aren't met. Now, self-awareness is the key ingredient to knowing what makes you special and unique. Now, this helps me to love myself unconditionally. A lot of the times we make success and status the condition in which we determine if we love ourselves. I think that this is a toxic way of thinking and can only be eliminated by loving ourselves through every phase of our lives and appreciating every part of ourselves, good and bad. Because even the bad things, being aware of those things, it shows you where you can grow. And that could be the good thing about the bad things, or not the bad things, but the flaws that you have. So self-awareness is huge when it comes to knowing who you are and what makes you special. That is self-awareness. And if you are on a journey to self-awareness, I want you to check out my episode that I did, I believe it was last year, Journey to Self-Awareness. I think it was a very good episode. And a good place to start. And on my other podcast that I do with my one of my best friends, Mom Wife Convo and Candor, we also did an episode titled, I think it was The Art of Self-Awareness. That's a good one as well. Again, that podcast is called Mom Wife Convo and Candor. And I just want you guys to, what I want you to take away from this episode is that you are worthy of love at all stages. You are worthy of being celebrated at all stages of your growth. As you grow, sometimes growth can be painful. Sometimes it's just uncomfortable. But we have to learn how to appreciate ourselves at all stages. Even when we have not reached exactly where we want to be, we are still worthy of that. And there are always going to be goals. There are always going to be expectations that we have for ourselves. Things change, life changes. That's just the way it goes. However, what shouldn't change is the way that we love on ourselves, is the way that we care about ourselves. So I just want you to keep that in mind as you work towards learning how to love yourself where you are. This was a short episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to share your story with me about how you're learning how to love yourself where you are, or If you're struggling with it and you want some more advice, and this episode was just a little too short, email me at keepyourcoolmama@gmail.com. And if you have any advice that you need when it comes to your journey to discovering your own greatness in motherhood, you can also email me with those questions, as well as any topic discussions that you would like to recommend. I would love to hear from you guys. And you can follow me on Instagram at Keepyourcoolmama, as well as on Facebook at Keepyourcoolmama. And please rate, write a review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. And lastly, please share. If you know a mom that could benefit from this content, please do not hesitate to share and share the love. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Before I let you go, seriously, before I let you go, please subscribe and leave a review with 5 stars if this podcast is inspiring you and helping you to grow. Let's spread the positivity so that we are visible to other mamas out there trying to find her own greatness. And if you need some advice or guidance regarding your own personal growth while tackling motherhood, please email me at keepyourcoolmama@gmail.com. Love you guys.